come to order. Anyone want to read the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Wadsworth's in.
I'll lead it, Mr. Barton.
Okay, thanks, Alan.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
This is a City of Romulus City Council meeting for September 8th, 2020. Mr. Chair, there was a special meeting at 6:45. Roll call was taken and a quorum was established at that time. So we have a quorum for this regular meeting. The regular council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4 is chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, communication. And number 12, adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved. As presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion approved.
Next on the agenda are the minutes for approval. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held August the 24th, 2020. A motion will be in order.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting for August 24th, 2020.
Support.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of minutes from the regular council meeting, which was August the 24th, 2020. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair abstain. Motion approved.
All right. Next on the agenda, agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the public hearing held on August 24th, 2020 to discuss the amendment to the Tiffa project.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for approval of the minutes from the public hearing held on August 24th, 2020 to discuss amendment to the Tiffa project.
Support.
Okay. Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of minutes from the public hearing held on August the 24th, 2020 to discuss amendments to the project. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair abstain. Motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda this evening. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, I want to thank Councilwoman Talley for chairing the meeting in my absence. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
We had a closed session at 6:45 discussing attorney opinion. First of all, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for the calls, the visits, the cards, and support that you gave our family. I want to to leave that part out. 'Cause I know, give me a moment.
Noise.
I
So I
don't know.
just want to thank everyone because you guys really came through, gave us strength and everything. It's just amazing how the city come together, the mayor, the clerk, the city council, and the calls I was received on a daily basis, the visits to the funeral, visits to the wake. It just got calls always from council people when I was in Tennessee. And my suggestion to you, just hug your kids and tell them you love them. Because I never thought this would happen to me, but it did. So we're going to move forward. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart and my family. Thank you very much. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Webb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make the motion to approve recommendation as made by city attorneys in our closed session this evening.
Support.
Supported by Ms. Roscoe for
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes,
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved. Now, the chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Talley.
Okay, it's kind of some background noise, but let me go ahead and muddle through. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you. I'm so happy to have you back. Thank you so much. It's just, it's just good to have you back, and it was an honor just to sit here to just take over while you're in your absence. So, but welcome back. I'm happy to see you. And thank you for this time under the chairperson's report. Couple of quick things. Last week when we were talking, I talked about the census, but my mic wasn't on, so I got to repeat a couple of things that I said last week that may not have gotten heard. I want to thank all the council people for their shirts for the public. You may not can see, but most of our council has their shirts on, and I just want to thank everybody for being in support of the census. Yeah, lift up. Yes, so thank you for your support in this. We got 2 more times after today for the census. It's wrapping up here really quickly. And again, the city does the census Mondays where we were closed yesterday for the holiday, but everybody's on board with the census shirts to really promote it. Again, we have signs and banners in our community just to promote and bring up the awareness. We had a slight uptick from last week in our numbers. We're still beating everybody nationally, county, and we're beating everybody. But the thing about it is that we need everybody to be on board with the census, not just Romulus. Even though we're leading and beating everybody, we still need to, it has to be across the board for the state of Michigan. So again, tell people you know to please complete the census. And just to show you how important the census is, a little known fact, or maybe you do know, Mary and Joseph had to go back to Bethlehem to take the census to be counted back in Jesus's day. So I just want to throw that out there. That's how important the census is. Mary and Joseph went back to their hometown to get counted for the census. So for all of you out there, just a little known fact that I thought I'd throw out there just to show the importance of the census. And just thank again our city council and everybody who's supporting the city, the administration, and let's just continue we got a couple of more weeks. We go to the end of September, and let's just keep up the momentum. We're doing well in Romulus, but we need everybody to do well. So thank you guys for your support, keeping this momentum going. The last thing I want to bring up, thank you again, Mr. Barton, is that you had in your package a pamphlet regarding a national infrastructure bank. This bill, House Bill HR 6422, calling for a $4 trillion national infrastructure bank, was introduced to the U.S. Congress by Representative Danny Davis on March 31st, 2020. The proposed bank is modeled on Alexander Hamilton's First Bank of the United States. This actual concept was used 4 times in our history, over our history, with the last time being done by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And so it would make loans, I'm sorry, it's like the National Infrastructure Bank would be capitalized using privately held treasuries without creating new federal debt. It would make loans primarily to state and local governments to build much needed infrastructure, as we all well know, in the areas, and would create over 25 million permanent jobs paying union level Davis-Bacon wages. So I hope you all had a chance to look it over. And I just want to say real quick, I had a really good discussion with Councilwoman Williams earlier about it. Thank you again for that conversation, Councilwoman Williams. But this is something I do want to make a motion to support this resolution and to support this bill, a National Infrastructure Bank.
Mr. Chairman, I'll support that.
It's been motioned by Ms. Councilwoman Talley, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. The resolution in the discussion.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Williams.
Yes. As I shared with Councilwoman Talley earlier today, the resolution, I'm not in agreement with it for the simple reason I don't see anything in here that includes around the airport. It includes a lot of things. Thank you, Councilwoman Talley, for telling me it was included in the actual hard copy of the council packet. But with the council agreeing to, and Councilwoman Talley, you just mentioned something about a loan from the bank. So, you know, wherever this funding is supposed to come from, I totally agree. If we pass a resolution that actually stated that we agree that infrastructure around the airport, which includes Romulus, is included. Other than that, I don't see why we as a council or as the legislative body for Romulus would be passing a resolution that the state reps, the state senators, and the Congress folks should be doing. If we must, and it hasn't been done in decades, but we must have to start considering Romulus, because if we don't consider the city of Romulus and our infrastructure, who will? So we as a council and as the legislative body must, when the state, the federal government start talking about infrastructure or anything to do with Michigan, we must make sure we include it. Detroit is always included. We host the only major airport in the entire state of Michigan. Why? Tell me why are we never included in a lot of these fundings? So I don't agree to, because I don't know what they're gonna do. I know back when the governor was running, nothing personally against the governor, she said fix the roads, or she said fix the DAM roads. What's the problem? We shouldn't have to come after the election and come up with a resolution or be voting on anything different other than what they're responsible of doing. So I'm just afraid, because it's so often that we support things and once it get passed or once it goes where it goes, then it's something else happens, totally different. So I'm not agree with it. If this resolution can't speak of Romulus itself, I don't agree. And that's just my opinion.
Ms. Webb.
Yes, if I may say so, this is not a state or a city resolution. It is a national resolution. It's the Coalition for a National Infrastructure. And what this does is that $4 trillion is given out to every state, every city, every county, every rural area, every township. It's given out. I would give an example. If this HR 6422 bill passes, And here in our city, which Metro Airport sits right in the middle, they will receive monies for what they need to be done. The city of Romulus, if we need our roads, but also we need water mains. Instead of the city paying money out of our budget to repair the roads and then have to come right back and tear that road up to put a new water main in, then this is what this is for. When former President Roosevelt, World War II, Hoover first started this. This is the fourth time that this National Infrastructure Bank has been brought to the nation. This was introduced in Congress. It was not introduced in Lansing. So we cannot make a resolution to send to Washington for just the city of Romulus. This encompasses all cities in building, in our bridges, our roads. The AFL-CIO has endorsed this. It's going to create 125 million jobs, and there are union jobs and training and skills. And those loans, this is the only way that we survived after World War II is because former President Roosevelt got that passed in the House so that the nation could start rebuilding. This is not like something that we are submitting to Lansing or, requesting from our governor. This is a national infrastructure, $4 trillion worth. And I'm a part of that coalition. And this will work because of the COVID-19. People have been out of work. We can get those loans. Back during World War II, people's monies in the banks, they could not get them out. But then once this was passed, yes, people could get it out. It's not about just Romulus. It's about America itself.
John,
Yes.
look, everybody has their own opinion. That's why we was elected, to give our opinion. I understand about World War I, II. That has nothing to do with my opinion. My opinion is that I do not support absolutely anything. I understand everything. I'm not slow in reading, and I'm not slow in understanding. If the federal government already approved this, what is our purpose if we're not putting our stamp on the approval to say, make sure Romulus is included? It's a lot of politicians that promise a lot of things and it never come to pass. The council can vote however they choose. As I said to Councilwoman Talley earlier today, I don't agree, except I see our city included, the airport that sits in the middle of our city included. I see a lot of different things on this actual flyer. I don't see the airport. So all I'm saying is, I don't agree. And I'm not saying it's just the governor, but in that document, it says the governor signed it, the lieutenant governor, the congressperson, a couple state reps. So that's what I was basing that on. I understand it's bigger than us, it's bigger than the state, it's on a federal level, but what I want to see moving forward is Romulus being included. We've been disregarded way too long. And to have the only major airport, why isn't it we making sure that we're included in things, passing a resolution? What is this going to do for us? Okay, so it doesn't matter what another council person feel or say or what they believe and how involved they are. My opinion is my opinion, and that's just that. If this resolution, if this resolution cannot include the city of Romulus in some shape, form, or fashion, as I said to Councilwoman Talley earlier today, I don't agree. And that's just my opinion.
Mr. Wadsworth?
So I'm done.
Yes, if I can, I agree with both of my colleagues. First, with Mrs. Williams, Romulus, he gets left out in a lot of things, but I also agree with Mrs. Webb. This is a bill to put America back to work. And there's not enough room in this resolution to name every town across America. It's impossible. But we have 275, we have 94, we have bridges that have to be repaired in this town. And it's a good thing to put America back to work. Thank you.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, and I agree. We all have our own opinion, and I'm not going against anyone's opinion. I was just stating what this resolution is about. But on the very first sentence or line, it says, whereas the city of, and then we would put Romulus, council approves to support HR 6422. That right there puts our name right at the top, City of Romulus. And as you read into it, because we only have a small, a one sheet resolution, but when you start reading the entire bill, it mentions all the airports in the cities. It mentions broadband, where everybody will have access to the computer, because this is the day and times that we're living in currently. Our children are having classes on the computer. A lot of the kids that are living in rural areas don't have the broadband. But as far as wanting to try to change someone's mind, I'm not doing that. We all have an opinion, but I believe that, you know, you vote your conscience and that's it. I was just giving my understanding of the HR 6422 bill. That's all.
Okay. All right, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No,
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. That concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Williams? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Kimmy?
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Next on the agenda, number 5, is the mayor's report.
Good evening, elected officials and listening audience. I wanted to start off just with a quick reminder that we have the September 11th anniversary coming up, and please continue to keep those families and first responders that were impacted in your thoughts and prayers. Wanted to also make a note that council received a letter from Aerotropolis. It was a little tardy getting to you. I apologize for that. It's in reference to the Viper project. We do have a non-disclosure signed on that. Jazz is typically in charge of our Aerotropolis development and attending. She's obviously off on maternity, so I am filling in for her on that. We'll do better on the communication. I did want to follow up and also mention that the next steps for that project, even though it's under a non-disclosure, we have a public hearing scheduled for September 22nd at 2:30 at the Aerotropolis office. So for council or the public that may be interested. The other thing we will be doing is trying to do some training later in October about a third party coming in to talk about incentives and what Aerotropolis can do to help and how that piece works. That'll be October the 26th is what we're looking at. Also, Chris Gerwood, he did offer to talk to anyone on council that has questions either about that project or Aerotropolis in general. So just wanted to pass that on. I have a couple action items tonight that I do need to get approved with your consideration. The first is a request or a recommendation from Maria Lambert, our Director of Resident Services and CDBG Director and Legal Counsel. The request is to concur with the administration and approve the proposed subrecipient agreement between the City of Romulus and Wayne County for the 2021 CDBG projects for the senior services of Romulus, The amount is $20,000.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to make the agreement with the city of Romulus and Wayne County for the 2021 CDBG project funds.
Support.
Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for a agreement with the Wayne County 2021 CDBG projects. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
So do we have any idea of what the funds are gonna be spent on?
Councilwoman, this is Maria. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see Maria.
Okay. The funds are for senior services. It's a public service funding. It's the only one that all of the communities get.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Nothing was attached, so I wasn't sure. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Any other questions? No other question, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Williams?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next action item is a request from Mary Juliet, our DDA Director. This is a request to concur the administration and authorize the following road closure: Hunt Street between Goddard and Bibbin Street. And that begins at 2 p.m. And ending 11 p.m. on Friday, October 9th. That's with a rain out date of October 16th. This is for a Relay for Life drive-through ceremony, which is different, obviously, because of COVID. We still want to try to help out so people will remain in vehicles. Very strict regulations that are set up by the Cancer Society. Mary has confirmed that the attendees will stay in their vehicle at all times.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll make that motion to concur with administration, authorize the following road closure: Hunt Street between Goddard Road and Bibbin Street between 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Friday, October 9th, 2020, with a rain date of October 16th, 2020, for the Relay for Life drive-through ceremony.
Who supported that? Ms. Webb, you supported it?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a comment or a question on that. Mayor, I noticed the closure is at Bibbins and Hunt Street, and it's a drive-through. I guess my concern is, where will the cars be staged? Because there probably will be quite a few people, or will, 4 people be in one vehicle or something, or have they hashed that out yet?
I think Mary is on the call. Mary?
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Clerk. Yes, we anticipate help with traffic control, and that was one of the reasons we chose Hunt Street, because the cross streets of Bibbins and Goddard. So it would be a one-way event. So they would enter from off of Bibbins onto Hunt Street and then exit out onto Goddard. We do have several of the captains for those teams who will be assisting with traffic control, as well as we'll be working with our local public safety for that as well.
Okay, thank you, Mary, because I was trying to get my bearings of where and how the vehicles will exit out. Well, yeah, exit out. I thought it was probably from all the way down to Grant, Hunt, and driving all the way through. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Any other comments?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ms. Williams, you have a
Yeah.
comment?
Yes.
Okay.
We just had a resident to come to council before us and ask for road closure. What's the difference? Because this young man was told that the process had to go through the clerk's office. So what's the difference here? Whoever decided to make this decision and put it on the agenda, I'm asking them, what's the difference?
Anybody want to address that question.
I mean, I can speak, I did, you know, it came, as you said, through Mary's recommendation and as the guidelines from the American Society of Cancer. The issue with staying in the vehicles is consistent with what we've encouraged all groups to do for community events. So I would say any community event, we're trying to direct people to stay in vehicles away from the human contact and adhere to the governor's orders. So that's been pretty consistent. You know, that's the difference I see.
The difference is what I was told at the last meeting is that anybody that wanted not certain ones, but anybody that wanted the road closed had to follow the procedures and go through the clerk's office. So I'm saying, what's the difference here? Because we just said no to another group of residents, and now the council is going to approve this. And the Cancer Foundation, look, I had plenty of family members that passed away from cancer, so I hold it dear to my heart. But yet and still, the Cancer Foundation don't control the rules and regulations of the city. So how is it any different that you can have a foundation that goes through administration instead of the clerk's office, as was said last week to the young man that came in front of council?
I don't know if Ellen wants to speak to the other process, but this is a community event. This was not a request to close the street for a citizens party. So those go through the clerk's office. It was a community
event, Mayor. That's what they said, a community event for back to school. So it was the same thing. It was for the community. So you can't use words to change the actions of what you're asking us to take. It was still, I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, you know, make rules for different people, that's up to y'all. But what I'm saying, it was clear to the young man last week that anybody that wanted the road closed had to go through the clerk's office. Isn't that what was said to the clerk?
Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
I mean, this is the same as last week. He came in front of council. Now the Relay for Life is coming in front of council, and I presume it's going to have to be approved by the police department also. I don't know.
What I'm saying, and I was asking the clerk to answer it because the clerk spoke on it. The proper procedures was to fill out the form, go through the clerk's office, and then the clerk's office present it to the necessary department, and then it come in front of council. So how is this any different? That's what I'm saying. It's just a simple question.
This is city property. That's one difference. And those others had multiple individual property owners. So that is one difference.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is Mary. If I could address that. This is similar to an event that I would host in the downtown, which I would typically bring for reminder of the Pumpkin Festival. When I do a no fee permit and a closure of the roads, I bring that directly to council. Relay for Life, Shona had actually reached out to me just from my experience with the Pumpkin Festival and road closures, asked for some guidance in regards to some suggestions. This is something that we've done in the past, and as we own the property and with less impact or anything like that for road closures, we chose Hunt Street to make this suggestion. So this is just something that I've done in the past for road closures for festivals. So it's kind of followed the same procedures.
So as a department head, you're telling me that you don't have to follow the same procedures that every resident does?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I followed the procedures that I had followed in the past.
I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about right now, Mary. I'm saying what happened last week when we said no to the resident. How is it any different this week? I mean, you could jump around it, dance around it. I'm not against the Cancer Foundation, believe me, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that we're going to be fair. We got to be fair across the board. Nobody else is saying anything as if they weren't at that meeting last week. But we said, we heard the clerk, city attorney, the mayor spoke that it had to go through the proper procedures. So how is it that any department head or you as a department head doesn't have to go through the same procedures as a resident?
John, can I speak?
Mr. Abdo?
Well, according to we told them last week, according to what we said, they had to go through the approval of the police department. Am I correct? fire department, public works. According to this memo, this has already been written off, that they have approved it. That the Romulus Fire Department, Romulus Police Department, and the Department of Public Works has signed off on this request, whereas they didn't sign off on the personal request. So to me, that's the procedure.
Well, you know, y'all could make it to where y'all vote. Y'all run y'all vote, because I don't agree.
Any other discussion? Ms. Webb? Ms. Webb, unmute yourself, Ms. Webb.
I'm sorry, yes, I was at the meeting when the young man came and requested the road closure at the end of your subdivision, Councilwoman Williams, with a band in the center, et cetera, and X amount of people at his home. He explained all of that. And I think what happened was the paperwork, he came, but he did not go through the proper procedure, because I wanted them to also have that. But with the COVID, that's what's been going on. That's why I asked the question regarding the drive-through for the Relay of Life, that, you know, they will be in vehicles. They're not going to be out around anyone. They will drive by, just like when my granddaughter graduated from high school. Hers was a drive-through. But yes, normally that young man could have had that. But if the paperwork isn't in to the clerk's office in order to get it, but you know, I wanted them to have that, but I can't change the procedures of bringing it in, getting the paperwork, calling the clerk's office, and getting a clearance from the fire department and the police department.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
Councilwoman Roscoe has her hand raised.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes, I just want to make a comment about the gentleman that came in front of us. We did not disapprove his request. We voted that he could have that road closure after he got the approvals from the police department, the fire department, and so on and so forth. So he didn't have to come back in front of us. So we did not disapprove his request. We actually approved his request on the recommendation that the fire department and the police department and the other procedures you go through for approval passed. So when it comes right down to it, we did not disapprove his request. The powers that be, sort of say, are the ones who did not approve that. Just to clarify that, because we did vote to give him his road closure on those other stipulations. And we did that so he would have time to go through those procedures, because he would not have time to come back in front of us. So Ms. Williams, I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from with things, but I just want to clarify the fact that we did our due diligence to give him what he needed and what he wanted with the other approvals. That just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
And I totally, excuse me, Chair.
Okay,
and I totally understand that. I remember that. I was there also. But at the same time, you know, council did say, you know, yes, if it got approved, and we know what happened there. So you can run the vote. I mean, discussion is over as far as I'm concerned. You know, it is what it is.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Okay, Ms. Talley.
And it's for Mary. It says that the relay, there are going to be additional Relay for Life activities. Can Mary speak to those additional? Where they're going to be looking for a no fee permit for other activities?
Maria, Bell?
I'm sorry, the activities that they would have would be held within that drive-through ceremony. So that would be the display of the luminary bags, as well as their banners for each team. Each team will not be able to be in the ceremony limits based on the no gathering requirements and restrictions that are in place, but they will have their team banners and displays to recognize each of those teams. So that's all the thing that they're going to be doing.
Oh, okay. So, and it's really only asking for my education. It says a no fee permit for all Relay for Life, but this is all talking about in the same event we're talking about.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Why would we need a no fee permit for everything? Is that how we permit everything? I mean,
This is
for my education.
In the past, when I've taken, proposed a request for a road closure, when I've done events, I've always just included that information. So we won't be charging them for the use of the park or anything like that.
Okay.
This will be something that as a community event that we'll be helping with.
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
No.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thanks, council. Next action item is a recommendation from Gary Harris, Purchasing Director, and Stephen Dudek, Technology Services Director. This one is to concur with the administration and extend the RFP 12/13-36 to contract for licensing and maintenance of Highland on-base modules currently being utilized throughout the city from Applied Imaging, cost $12,663.27, and for any of the professional services needed from Applied Imaging until such time the product is no longer supported or is no longer able to be budgeted for. And those funds have been verified and budgeted in the listed account.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the extension of the RFB 12/13-36 Highland on-base software agreement in the amount of $12,663.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. For Highland on-base software agreement. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thanks, council. The next item is a recommendation from Kevin Kraus, our fire chief and legal counsel. This one's to concur with administration and authorize sole source purchase and implementation of the PS track software to a period of up to 6 years, an additional cost of $3,937.50, plus allowable annual increases according to the CPI. And those funds have also been verified and available out of the public safety fund that's listed.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion that we approve and authorize the sole source purchase and implementation of the PS track software.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally, for the sole source agreement PS track software. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Oh, Ms. Webb, you have a discussion?
Yes, I have a question for Kevin. I see that he's online. 6 years seems really great, you know, that number of years for $3,900. But what is the plus allowable annual increases according to the CPI?
Good evening, Council. To answer your question, Councilwoman Webb, there are additional modules as we expand our EMS services. If we were to move from BLS to ALS transporting, one of the critical items that we would be tracking with this module would be any pharmaceuticals that we keep on the trucks in our drug boxes. So any additional cost above the modules that we've originally agreed to in this contract would be additional increases.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next is a recommendation from Maria Ferris, Finance Director. And this one is to concur with administration and authorize approval for the fiscal year 19/20 encumbrances for capital outlay purchases and various city projects. The amount $4,801,445.04. These are to be rolled over into the fiscal year 2021 budget and paid accordingly.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the approval for the fiscal year 2019/2020 encumbrances for capital outlay purchases to be rolled over into the 2020-2021 budget and paid accordingly.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for the fiscal year 1920 encumbrance listing. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That was the last action item. The next one is a informational item. You would ask our team to work with the clerk and offer some options for the council meeting around the presidential election. So you do have a memo that was provided.
Thank you.
Through the chair,
Yes,
If
Ms.
it-
Webb.
there's a motion to be made on this, FYI?
There was one provided with the memo, yes.
Yes, okay. I'll make that motion to reschedule the regular meeting of the Romulus City Council.
Who supported that? Who supported that? Oh, Ms. Abdo.
I don't know.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Abdo.
Ms. Williams supported.
Ms. Williams? Okay. Sorry about that. Been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Williams for the rescheduling of the,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I just have one question. This does not affect the other two meetings in November will stay the same, correct?
Correct.
I don't think it's necessary, but that's fine.
Pardon me?
Ms. Webb?
Well, I'm not hearing anything. Yes.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. 6A for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 20/21-5. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of August 24th, 2020. This budget amendment was to complete the M Park project in the 2021 budget year that wasn't completed in the 1920 budget year due to COVID-19.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll make that motion for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 20/21-5.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams. For second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 21-5. Any discussion?
Yes. What park? I would just like to know, what park is this for?
I'm not certain. I guess we'd have to ask Ms. Cofield if she's joined.
Anya's not here. This is Maria Lambert. This was for the Boise Parkway. We are resurfacing the walkways.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6B, a request from Captain Darren Shelby to add an animal shelter owner surrender fee in the amount of $20 to the 2021 fee schedule adopted by council on June 8th, 2020.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, to add the animal shelter owner's surrender fee, $20.
Supported that?
Ms. Abdo?
Okay, Ms. Abdo.
I have a quick question.
Pardon?
I just had a quick question. To clarify this is when you would bring your pet to the animal shelter to give it up, more or less? That you would
I
have
would
to
think
pay
so.
them to
I
take?
would think that's what it's for, Celeste.
Okay, that you'd have to, not if they came to your home and took your pet for any reason.
No.
Okay, thank you.
No question.
Question, Ms. Williams.
Yeah, if we already adopted this, why is it just now being included?
If I may, through the chair?
Yes.
No, this is a fee that I got a call from the Ordinance Department, and that was just, it was kind of the fee that wasn't added, wasn't included with the fee schedule when it came to council. So periodically throughout the year, we will, amend fees or add fees to the fee schedule. That's all. This was just one that was just kind of left off, wasn't included originally when it was submitted.
Okay, so since it wasn't included when we approved the fee schedule, so now Captain Shelby is asking us to include this into the fee schedule, something that was already approved?
Right. All we're doing is just adding this fee to the ordinance fee schedule, just to the ordinance portion of the fee schedule. And if you recall, Councilwoman Williams, throughout the year, sometimes we may have to amend a fee or add a fee from different departments, just as the need arise. Because at the time, probably when the fee schedule was, when everyone was going through their fee schedule, they probably didn't even see that need. But as we move forward, they're seeing that there is a need to incorporate a fee for the, in this case, the animal shelter owner surrender fee. I mean, I may come up with something in my office, moving forward that might include business licenses or something like that. But we, at the time when we're, doing the budget and doing the fee schedule, it's, it doesn't appear to be a need at that time. So now there is a need to include this fee in our fee schedule, if that makes sense for you. Yes, Mr. Wadsworth, I guess.
Clerk, this will not include a person that finds a cat or a dog and turns it in.
Councilman Wadsworth, I'm not certain. That's something that
I want to make sure that someone that finds a stray animal and brings it to the shelter should not have to pay $20 to turn the animal in.
I'm not certain. That would have to come from Captain Shelby if he's on, or someone from the police department to clarify, to answer that.
Maybe I should pull this back and table this until we get something clear.
I think that would be fair.
Okay.
I'm going to pull it back and ask that it be tabled until that is made clear to me, because I don't think anybody that is kind enough that finds a cat or a dog and brings it to the shelter should not be charged to turn an animal in. And sometimes these ordinances and these fees get mixed up.
Yeah. I apologize. I can't speak on that.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
We can get it cleared up.
Mr. Chair, I see the hand of Councilwoman Webb.
Yes, I can't say what Captain Shelby was saying. All I can say is what is written on this paper, which is very clear. Request from Captain Shelby, to add animal shelter owner surrender fee, not a stray animal that's not yours that brought in. But I've noticed even on the world news, there are so many animals have been turned in because of the COVID. and the unemployment. People cannot afford their animals. They can't afford to feed them. And I'm glad to see that the city is stepping up and adding a $20 fee. But it does say owner surrender. And if I find a stray cat or dog on the street, I'm not the owner. You know, these are people say, you know, like.
I would like to hear that from Captain Shelby.
Okay, sure.
I move the table if somebody wants to support it.
I'll
If not,
support it.
okay, it's tabled.
Have to run the vote first.
Motion was,
Obviously, I understand that, Lee.
the motion was by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams to table. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
No.
Ms. Tally,
No.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6C, this is a resolution to approve the Tiffa Development and Financing Plan Amendment. Mary Jurier, Tiffa Director, is requesting that council adopt a resolution approving the amendment to the Tax Increment Financing Authority Development and Financing Plan, which was presented at the public hearing held on August the 24th, 2020.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion for resolution to approve the Tiffa Development and Financing Plan Amendment.
Support.
Ms. Webb. Amendment. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
No.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6D, this is a request to concur with the Property Disposition Committee's recommendation to sell parcel 80.028990012.703. The Property Disposition Committee requests that City Council concur with their recommendation to approve the sale of parcel, again, 80.028990012.703. And this is 224.37 acres of vacant land located west of Wayne Road between Ecorse and Wick Roads in the amount of $15,000 per usable acre as determined by the final survey. Again, this parcel was designated for sale and let out for bid per the Romulus Council Resolution number 20-148 at the June 22nd, 2020 council meeting.
Need a motion? We have a motion?
I'll make that motion
Okay. Ms.
for the request to concur with PDC recommendations to sell parcel 80.028990012.
703.
Need support?
Oh, 703, sorry.
Support.
Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo.
That was Tally.
Ms. Tally?
That was, yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, let me finish reading it first. It's been motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally. And just to request to concur with the PDC recommendation to sell parcel 80.028990012. Discussion.
If I can, this does not change, zoning at all, correct? The zoning remains the same in the sale of the property, correct?
I believe so. And if our city assessor is on, she could probably answer that for you. And Mr. Chair, Ms. Albert has raised her hand to speak.
Ms. Albert?
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
There is no language in this document that would change the current zoning.
Fine, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
So we're selling this 118 of the 224, what is it, 1,000 acres or 100 acres? Is this where the city once did the fireworks? So this property is between Ecorse and Wick Road?
The property is between Ecorse and Wick, west of Wayne. The
So
sale would include all 224 acres. There's a portion that's probably in excess of 100 acres that is designated with a conservation easement through the state of Michigan.
Mhm.
And that easement would remain in place.
And so we're selling, the city of Romulus is willing to sell the property for 150,000?
No, $15,000 per usable acre. There will have to be a survey done to determine how many usable acres there are on site.
It's a check included for 150,000. What is that for?
That's a 10% deposit.
Well, that's just a deposit.
Yes.
That's a lot of property. And wasn't the city once talking about making that area some type of park?
I think probably 10, 15 years ago, that was the plan. I've had conversations with Jasmine Dancy. They've done some exploration. The cost would be, I believe she said, in excess of $1 million. And with its location so close to Elmer Johnson, it didn't make sense to the Recreation Department to pursue turning that property into a park.
You finished, Ms. Williams?
Yeah, and so this company is proposing to build what?
They, in the future, are proposing to build 2 or 3 industrial buildings on the Ecorse side of the property.
Okay, now are they aware that this property, or does this particular property butt up against the raccoon club, the shooting range?
Yes. That area of the land is the conservation easement. The development would be on the northeast corner, closer to Ecorse and the railroad tracks.
Well, you're saying closer to the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's what's behind the existing company that's there, right there at the railroad tracks now?
Yes.
All the way back that butts up to the junior high or Wick Elementary?
The property butts up to the school properties. There, part of it is still covered by the conservation easement on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a 300-foot setback as part of the agreement for any development from the back lines of those properties.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
Ms. Abdo, you had your hand up. Ms. Abdo?
Yeah, it's just a point I'd like to make. I think I will not vote for this only because I would like to see a council person represented on the property disposition committee. I think that we should have a council person on that committee. And that's just all I'm saying right now.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, I would like to say out of this 224 acres, and it is a conservation easement and wetland preservation with long-term management agreement. I remember when they came before us, and this is long-term. So in actuality, they'll probably only be able, if they can build the number of buildings that they want to build, only on probably 96 acres, because they can't build on, you know, the wetlands. So it's not going to be, you know, everything will be facing I think you said the Ecorse, Julie?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
So, but how far back? Because, you know, between, excuse me, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Webb, were you finished?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm finished.
Oh, so this is between, if I'm looking at it right, is this between the city event center and then that following that home that sits adjacent to the driveway that gets back to the raccoon club? is this property that comes out on E-course?
Comes out on E-course, yes, next to the, well, not next to, but west of the industrial building and the railroad tracks.
So the industrial building, so it's nowhere near the, because you know, from the railroad tracks, pretty much down to the city event center, you have homes on that side. So you know, my concern is that, you know, what about the residents that's there now? I mean, I know it's a bunch of commercial buildings coming up around them, but they're on the opposite side. So now they're buying this property. There's at least, if I'm seeing it right, visualizing it right, there's at least 4 to 5 homes even before you get to this property. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, the city is selling this property or proposing to sell this property to this company. Have any of the residents been notified that this was coming to council for council to approve this sale?
We advertised it on the website in accordance with the advertising procedures, and we posted it with the for sale sign on the E-course side of the property.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have Ms. Webb's hand.
Okay.
Wait, Ms. Webb.
Okay, I know that's not my phone. Somebody's phone, I can't hear.
It's
But-
mine, I'm not answering it.
No, I was going to, also in that paragraph down there, and I understand because that was my concern when the gentleman was before us the other week. But it does state that the state of Michigan prohibits any development on the portion of the parcels zoned R1A. So they can't build those big buildings on those parcels. And like I say, I think they're only gonna be able to have about 96 instead of 224. I'm not for sure.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I just want to make just a note that the parcel number, there was a little typo. There were the last 3 digits were left off of the actual agenda there. And just want to make note that that parcel number is, just for the record, 800289900127003. Yeah, in all your attachments, it has that, but I just noticed that right on top here that it was not, it was left off the last 3 digits, just for the record.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Unmute yourself, Mr. Wadsworth. Mr. Wadsworth?
Here, we'll get him unmuted, okay?
Okay, Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Abdo?
No.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Okay. One moment here. Okay, and then 6E, we have a study session request for September 14th, 2020 at 6:00 p.m. to discuss a zoning ordinance. Carol Mays, the city planner, is requesting this study session on September 14th, 2020 at 6:00 p.m. to discuss the proposed zoning ordinance amendment.
So moved.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have a question.
Okay, first of all, who made the motion? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Who supported that? Any support?
I'll support that.
I think Mrs. Talley's got a question.
Yeah, I had a question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Let me read this. This is how it works. I read and then I ask for discussion.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Study session repeated September 14th, 2020 at 6 p.m. to discuss zoning ordinance. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, is it okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I just had a quick question. For Carol, at 6 o'clock, why are we doing that 6? Do we got something else going on that night as well, Madam Clerk?
I think so. It's not.
And how long is the presentation?
No, we don't have anything going on that evening, Councilwoman Talley.
Okay. How long is the presentation? How long is the presentation?
You would have to ask Ms. Mace.
Is she on?
Yes, her hand is raised.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Mays.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is the Vining Road Overlay Amendment that there is indeed a presentation from Brad Strader, our planning consultant. We also have a second amendment on the condominium ordinance, which will be very short. Most of the time will be for Vining Road. But we do anticipate there may be a property owner in the district that would like to talk to you during the study session. So that's why we moved it up a little bit to give us some time.
Okay, so it'll probably take us up until the council meeting that night.
It could.
Okay.
You might have a few minutes to spare.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. Okay. Mr. Wadsworth? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the last action item under the clerk's report is 6F, and this is also a study session request for October 5th, 2020 at 6:45. And this is to discuss the quarterly investment. And this request is coming from City Treasurer Stacy Page.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the study session request for October 5th, 2020 at 6:45 p.m. to discuss the quarterly investment from Treasurer Page.
Support.
Any discussion? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That does conclude the clerk's report. I do want to add is that we've received many calls with regards to the election. Many residents have, as throughout the state of Michigan, has received numerous requests, absentee ballot requests. We have our applications that we send out to voters that are on our permanent AV list. But there are a lot of third-party groups out there with good intentions, but it has caused a lot of confusion from it submitting so many applications for absentee ballot, to receive an absentee ballot. And what's happening is that people are getting a little confused and uncertain, and they're worried about if they're going to, receive an absentee ballot. So if you have more than one application, or if you know that you submitted one for the August primary election, if you're uncertain, just give our office a call. It's better for you to call us. We can check and let you know, confirm that you are in the system so that you can receive an absentee ballot. We have not received the ballots yet. We plan to mail out ballots the last week in September. We should be receiving them by I believe it's by the 20th of September. By law, election law, we have to have have the ballots delivered to us. So we ask that everyone please be patient. Once you receive your ballots, which should, give the mail probably the first week in October. Once you receive your ballot, if you know who you're going to vote for, vote that ballot and get it in the mail. All right, vote your ballot, get it in the mail. If you're not confident in the mail, then you can always include, we have a drop box that's located in front of City Hall. Please utilize it. And with that, Mr. Chair and Council, that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam.
We do not have a treasurer's report this evening, and that takes us to number 8, public comment. And this is the portion on the agenda that is reserved for public participation. Those from the public who have joined this meeting and wish to have comments or remarks may do so at this time. The raise hand method will be used to identify those wishing to speak. If you've joined the meeting via the web, select the raise hand icon. For those who dialed in, press *9. Please note that you will remain muted until called upon to speak. After you've been acknowledged, please restate your name, and we ask that you please provide an address. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time beyond the 3 minutes will be upon the approval of the Mayor Pro Tem. Mr. Chair, I see 2 hands raised. We have the first hand, and this is coming from Tony Heimberger. So I'm going to unmute him. Just wait 1 moment, please. We're just trying to make sure he's unmuted so that he can speak. If you dialed in, you're going to have to hit *6, I believe it is, to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, Mr. Heimberger. Go ahead.
Good evening, Tony Heimberger, here on River Drive, Romulus, Michigan. I have a couple things to say tonight. I raised my hand under the chairperson's report and had a couple questions for councilpersons Ms. Talley concerning this HR 6422 and wanted to get some clarifications. Unfortunately, I was not called upon. Last I knew, we did take questions during something that our council, that the people voted for, when they have a question, should be answered. Does that resolution, is it going statewide where we're trying to have all the communities in the state of Michigan so it can be sent to the federal government? Or is it just Romulus sending it? These are questions that I wanted to ask, but unfortunately was not able to. My second item, where is the ordinance concerning these political signs? We used to have one. I know for a fact we had one, and I am looking through my paperwork to find it. Because right now there's still 2 signs on city right-of-way in our downtown for the person that lost, and yet these signs are still up. I know for a fact, and I can remember it plain as day, when I ran for council, that you had so many days before the election you could put out the sign, and you have so many days after the election to take them down. Those are the questions I would like to answer. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that is requested to speak, the last 4 digits are 5617. And you may speak.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Walker, and I stay on Gabriel. What I'm calling about, and I tried to get in under the 6D with the request to sell that land behind the junior high. I, too, thought that this land was going to be used for a park. I had no idea that it was going to be used for, I think you said warehouses, because I have friends that live over in there and they're going to be shocked. I also would like to know if the people realize that there is an easement that runs across the land for the Raccoon Hunters Club. So you're not going to be able to build anything across the easement, and even if you sell it, the easement goes with the land. So I don't think that's a real good idea to put all that stuff up behind people's houses And we have several buildings around the city that were built, nice buildings that's sitting empty. And I don't know, I just feel like we keep selling land off and we're never going to get any commercial for the people. Everything is commercial for these people.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. We have another hand raised, Mr. Chair, and it's from a Ross Jones.
Ross Jones.
Okay, and go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm a reporter with Channel 7 and actually came onto this city council meeting because I've been trying to reach Mayor Burcroft for the last week or two, and I have not had any success. It's regarding a story we're taking a look at, and I was hoping, I'm unclear if he's still here or not. I see his camera does not appear to be on, but I was trying to use this as an opportunity to convey to him that I'm hoping to talk to him. Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you've left or not for the public comment portion or not, but I hope you haven't, and I'm just hoping we can connect either by phone or in person at a time that's convenient for you. I have called and texted and emailed, and I've not had any luck, so thought I'd try this. Short of a carrier pigeon, I'm kind of running out of ideas, so hopefully you are still here, and hopefully we can talk. And I don't know where I am in my 3 minutes yet, but I'm just gonna keep hoping that perhaps you'll join us on the meeting if you're there, sir. Going once, twice. Oh, yes.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I do not see any other hands raised with regards from the public that is requested to speak. I'll just do one more, peruse through one more time. And again, I believe that concludes that part of it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll close it out then, Madam Clerk.
Okay. That takes us to number 9, which is unfinished business. And Mr. Chair, I apologize. I did see a hand just as we were closing out. Someone did raise their hand. Do you want me to acknowledge them?
Sure.
Pardon?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The hand is from Carol Miller. So I will unmute her. Okay, Ms. Miller, you may go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Miller. Are you there, Ms. Miller? I don't hear anything, Madam Clerk.
Okay, all right, we'll move on then. If Ms. Miller wants, she can maybe make a comment in the chat section, and then we can go back and make sure we acknowledge it from there. Okay. All right, that takes us to unfinished business. If I can, through the chair, under unfinished business. I know one resident, Mr. Heimberger, had asked about raising his hand. I know that he had his hand raised during the discussion under your report. And I verified this, also made sure with our city attorney. There is a section for public comment, and usually if individuals want to speak on agenda items they need to request that specifically, maybe beforehand, the beginning of the meeting, they can chat, they can send a request, and they can do that through the chat section to request to speak specifically on an agenda item, and then we can acknowledge them and let you know that individuals have requested to speak on those items. Otherwise, that for the public, we have to wait for that section that's designated for public comment on the agenda. The next thing is, I know Mr. Heimberger mentioned signs. Yes, there used to be an ordinance. We do not have the ordinance that addresses specifically the political signs. That was taken out, and I might have to defer to our attorney to help me exactly when that was done. We have a zoning ordinance that addressed signs, but for the political signs, nope, we don't have one to tell what, that designates when a person, or dictates when a person can put up their political signs and take them down. The main thing is that they cannot be in the right of ways, or they cannot obstruct traffic or the view. So we've kind of been rounds with this and to double check, because we do get a lot of calls with regards to political signs and things. But Mr. Heimberger, if you're listening, I hope that does answer your question.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, we can get something to you. We can get something clear. I can provide a copy of the zoning ordinance that actually addresses the sign ordinance for you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, I would actually like to address Mr. Heimberger. He had a question about the National Infrastructure Bank.
Okay, Ms. Talley, go ahead.
Thank you. And Mr. Heimberger, it is a statewide initiative. It's something that's going across the state of Michigan, targeting trying to get all cities on board with this initiative, just to make a loud voice to Congress. So yes, it is a statewide initiative, just to answer your question.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay. Is there any more unfinished business? Okay. If not, that takes us to number 10, new business.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, so Ms. Webb.
If I can get a motion, I'd like to make a motion for a resolution for Mrs. Ida Friesen, who passed away over the holiday.
Support.
Okay, been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for memorial for Ms. Bryson.
No, it's Watson.
It's Friesen Watson, yes. Her maiden name is Friesen, but she's Ida Watson.
Oh, okay, Ms. Watson. Okay, you want to speak? Anybody want to speak on it, or?
I would just like to say, and I'm Ellen, our clerk may speak on it, but she was such a wonderful woman. She retired from Romulus School District, and she was just an absolute fabulous neighbor. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better human being to live near you. And that's it.
If I can, through the chair, I had the privilege of working with Miss Ida. I called her Miss Ida. My tenure working with Romulus Community Schools, and we also attended the same church, and it's a great family. She definitely will be missed, and so we just send our thoughts and condolences out to the Watson and Frierson family.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo? Ms. Abdo? Okay, I see you. Ms. Williams? Chair votes yes, motion approved.
All right, that takes us to number 11, which is communication.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Tally?
I'm sorry, just a couple quick things, just to wrap up. I want to just thank the council for your support for the National Infrastructure Bank. It's just truly appreciated. Thank you so much for that support. The other thing I do want to bring up as well is that the Ministerial Alliance have started pop-up prayers around the city of Romulus, drive-up prayers for people in the middle of this pandemic. You know, people are just hurting. People are looking for prayer. So we did one this last Thursday on Wayne Road. It went well. It was kind of slow because it's still trying to get people to know that we're out there. But just know we're out there. And for the people who came by and honked at us to show their support, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging us being out there. We'll be doing it through the month of September. If the weather permits, through the month of October. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., we'll be popping up somewhere in the city of Romulus. We'll be out on Eureka and Middlebelt this Thursday. So just as a heads up, please, if you need some prayer, come by. We got pastors and ministers on hand to pray for you. It's a lot going on in our world right now, and I'm gonna tell you, that's what keeps me, is some prayer. So just keep that in mind. It's every Thursday at 6 p.m. We're gonna pop up at a different location every week. And just if you want to come by, just come by and support also. And then my last thing is I just want to give a shout out to the city of Romulus, the administration. Just a lot going on with residents and getting called on for certain things within our city, people needing help. And I just want to thank the city and administration and mayor for their support and just following up on everything I bring to them. They follow up with it very quickly, and I just want to thank you for that. It makes what I do easy, and I think it makes what we do easy to get that support. I mean, quick follow-up. So thank you. I want to say to the city of Romulus and the administration, the mayor, his team, it makes it so much easier for me being a city council person. So I just wanted to say thank you, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Tally.
Mr. Chair, if I may, under communication, we were trying to get, I know we had a hand raised from a resident, a Carol Miller, and we were unable to, with the sound. However, I asked her to provide her information in the chat room, and so that we can contact her to ask her question, to answer her question. She said that she had a question with regards to the airport. It wasn't anything that was on the agenda, but I just want to acknowledge that for the record. We did, we have some contact information, and we'll see to it that somebody will reach out to Ms. Miller, and hopefully we can answer her question for her.
Thank you.
Is there any more communication? I believe, Ms. Williams, can you unmute your phone, please, Councilwoman?
Ms. Williams?
There it is.
Okay, I would like to announce the drive-through and walk-up covert testing. It will be Thursday, September the 17th, 2020, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Mount Olive Baptist Church, 3556 5 Beverly Road. That's located in Romulus. I'll send this to the mayor's chief of staff, Julie Watoka, and have them put this on the city website so the residents will be aware of all the information. And also, we canceled the Forgotten Harvest today because of the weather this morning, but we will resume at the city hall. I'm sorry, at the city, the Romulus High School. I'm sorry, I got the city on my mind. At Romulus High School next Tuesday and it will start at 12 o'clock as normal. So sorry for the inconvenience of all those that did come out, but under the circumstances, Forgotten Harvest decided to cancel because they didn't want to have the volunteers out there or the residents out there in that type of way. And also, Miss Miller did contact me, so I'm aware of what she's talking about, but that needs to go straight to the mayor office so they can connect with Wayne County, because she's having a serious issue with her home from the airplanes flying over her home and the damage that it has caused to her home. So the city of Romulus, and I'm sure the mayor's chief of staff, Julie Watoka, will reach out to someone in Wayne County to make sure that they respond to that issue, because every number that has been given to her so far is leave a number and nobody never called. Leave a name and no one called back. So I'm sure that's what she was calling for, kind of getting restless of not getting anywhere with Wayne County.
Is there any more communication? If not, that takes us to number 12, adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Webb, oh, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo, Ms. Webb, you are unmuted.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.